Well, for 10 years, there was a woman who was just having a lot of trouble getting to sleep at night. You see, she had severe anxiety. And her anxiety was she was anxious about burglars breaking into their house and obviously doing harm. Well, one night her husband heard a noise downstairs, so he went downstairs to investigate. And sure enough, there he found a burglar. Well, oddly enough, the man of the house said this: "Good evening. Come upstairs to meet my wife. She's been waiting to meet you for 10 years. Today we're talking about something that most of us, maybe all of us, deal with from time to time, or maybe every day, and that is anxiety. Let's pray. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable and pleasing in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. Did you know that the average person's anxiety is focused on 40% things that will never happen? We worry about things 40% of the time of things that never happen. 30% of the time, things about the past that cannot be changed one way or the other. 12% of the time, things about criticism by others, mostly untrue. 10% of the time about health, which can actually make our health even worse. Anxiety can make our health worse, I'm told. And only 8% of the time about real problems that we have to face. So really, the things we deal with in our anxiety, it's usually about only 8% of those things are things we actually have to face. Our Lord Jesus knows about our anxiety. He does. He walked our path. He lived our life. And he was very clear with his disciples about this. Would you please read these words from Jesus to us? Therefore, I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body, what you will put on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Now, before I review what Jesus said next, I want to skip down to the last part of the gospel reading that I read today. Because you know why? It gives us some really good perspective on this topic of anxiety. Jesus told his disciples this. Look at this. Blessed are those servants whom the master finds awake when he comes. Truly I say to you, the master will dress himself for service and have his servants recline at table, and he will come and serve them. Jesus is talking about the last day of the world when he returns to judge the living and the dead. Those people that he finds waiting for him, those people he finds trusting in him for salvation, he will usher into the new heaven and the new earth to live with him forever in eternity. There he will serve them. There he will serve us. Did you catch the role reversal there? You know, that's very unusual. It's a very unusual and loving master that we have. You know, normally servants serve the master. But in our case, in this case, the master serves his servants, which is you and me, for eternity. We have a serving master who serves us. What a loving God we have. If you ever start to doubt that you are loved, remember those verses. Your master wants to serve you. Your master, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, serves you his gifts. That's amazing to think about. Now, with that in mind, do we really have much to have anxiety about in our life? Not really. Ultimately, that is. We know the end of the story of our lives. We already know the ending. And because of what Jesus did for us in his life, his death, his resurrection, his ascension, and his coming back again, the end of our story is a beautiful one. And hopefully that can give us, the people of God, perspective on our life. It can give us the peace that passes all understanding. We know what's coming up. We know the very end of the story, and it's a beautiful ending to the story. And hopefully that can give us the peace to have at least a less anxious life. I confess that I come from a long line of anxious people. At least one side of my family. Mom, as you're watching this on YouTube or whatever next week, you know what I'm talking about. We are a very anxious people. We know that. And you know what's interesting about it? We know that we are. And we know that it's a result of a lack of faith. We get that. And yet we know that it's probably a thorn in our side that God has allowed for us to have, probably to keep us humble, probably to help us always be relying on God for our life. And it's something that, we see even in our ancestors, and we see in ourselves, and even in our children sometime. Admittedly, it's not usually about the things that Jesus is talking about in this text. In our text for today, Jesus is talking about the basic necessities of life: food, clothing, shelter. Don't worry about those things. Admittedly, those are usually not the things that my family and I worry about. It's usually about bigger things in life. In fact, right now, if you ask me after service, well, what are you worried about? I could give you a whole list of things that causes me anxiety, and it's usually about things with my family members, right? Is that the way it is with you? God does tell us to make sure that our family members are taken care of. Look at this verse right here. If anyone does not provide for his relatives, especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So on the one hand, we're not supposed to worry about the basic needs of life. And on the other hand, Paul was telling Timothy, by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, you need to make sure that your family members at least have the basic necessities of life. You don't have to worry about it, don't have anxiety about it, but take care of those family members as well. So you kind of got that back and forth going on, right? But even so, whether it's the little things in life, the basic necessities, or if it's the big things in life that we worry about, still, anxiety is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it really doesn't get you anywhere, right? Jesus said something very similar, but in this way. And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? You and I know this. It's one of those things we struggle with, usually as a people of God. We know that God wants us to take all of our anxieties of life and place it on him. Take it, Lord. Take these anxieties and deal with it. Help me to know how active I should be in this. Get it? I get it. We talked about this, I think, 2 weeks in a row now. Martin Luther said, pray as if everything depends on God. Work as if everything depends on you. But then give it to the Lord. So this struggle as being a person of God is we have the anxieties that we're supposed to give to God. Because guess what? By worrying, by having anxiety, it doesn't really add to our life at all. In fact, it detracts from the things, from the peace that God wants us to have as his child. Here's a practical idea that I found on how to deal with anxiety. Maybe it will help you, maybe not. J. Arthur Rank was a guy, he was an English executive. He was a worrier. So to help manage his anxiety, he came up with this idea. He decided to do all his worrying on one day of the week. He chose Wednesdays. He was going to do no worrying the rest of the week, just on Wednesdays, and that would be Worry Wednesday. So what he would do, whenever he had a worry or an anxiety that bothered his ulcer, he had an ulcer, what he would do is he would write it down, and he would put it in a box that he put on his desk. It was called his anxiety box. And he closed the lid. He said, I'm not going to worry about this until next Wednesday. So every time he would come to Wednesday, he would open up his box and take out all the little sheets of paper that he had anxiety about. And what he found was very interesting. What he found was he would lay them out there in front of him. He's like, most all of these have already been settled, or they never happened. As we already talked about before, 40% of the things that we worry about never happen. 30% things are about the past that we can't change now. 12% of things about criticism from others that's usually untrue. 10% about health, which can actually be worsened by our anxiety. And 8% about real problems that we'll face with the Lord helping us. An anxiety box may work for you. I don't know. Would it? But I also want to suggest this. I'm a big fan of Christian counseling. It is a wonderful way to go to someone who's a third-party, objective person who also has a biblical worldview. It's very important that you get counseling from someone who shares your biblical worldview. And you just go there and you just lay out your burdens to this person who's taken a vow of confidentiality, so you know it's not going to be shared. And usually Christian counselors will bring God's word into the session, will start and end with prayer. If you've never had the blessing of receiving Christian counseling, I recommend it for everybody. Everybody can benefit from a good Christian counselor who has a biblical worldview. And then also, remember, God can work through medical technology and medicines. Some of us need medicines, and God blesses us through medicines that are used to help with our anxiety. That's okay, depending on, not everybody should, not everybody shouldn't. I mean, it just depends. Make sure you seek medical advice. So God gives us, whether it's an anxiety box, maybe it's a Christian counselor, maybe it's medicine, but first and foremost, before any of those, and those can all be very good things, we as the people of God, first and foremost, let's remember and remind us and fill ourselves with the comforting words of God that He gives us for our anxiety. Would you read these out loud with me? And do not seek what you are to eat and what you are to drink, nor be worried, for all the nations of the world seek after these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek His kingdom, and these things will be added to you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Let's pray. Lord, as we look at this slide in front of us, we look at the ravens and we look at the lilies. Father, you clothe them and you provide food and shelter for them. Help us to realize that if you provide for birds, you provide for flowers, you're going to provide for us. Lord, forgive us of our sin of needless worry. Give us the Holy Spirit to increase our faith and trust in you that you're going to take care of us. Yeah, you usually take care of us through our jobs and our ability to earn, our ability to manage our money and our resources. But Lord, we also pray for us and those who cannot earn and cannot provide for themselves. Help us to remember that you have blessed us to be a blessing, and help us, especially within our families, to take care of those who cannot take care of themselves. Lord, help us to remember that we are your sheep and that we need not fear. It's because you are our shepherd. Give us the peace, Lord. Remove our anxiety because you are our loving shepherd, our loving Father who takes care of us. In Jesus' name and for His sake, amen.